Hello everyone, this is Game of Knowledge and More. Game of Knowledge, GoCam, or just Fred if you want to call me by my real name, back with another video. This is my Salamangreat Reicarnation deck profile. The main focus of the deck that I got is to bring out either Emerald Eagle or Heat Leo using another copy of themselves. So let's go on with the deck profile. With the monsters, I'm running 2 Emerald Eagles. I did run a third one, but due to deck space, I wanted to reduce as much as I can. I am still going to try and do that, but at the moment I just have 2. What it does is that you can ritual summon this card with Rise of the Salamangreat, and when it is ritual summoned using another copy of itself you control, you can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. And once per turn, you can tribute a Salamangreat Link monster this turn, and this turn it gains this effect. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you destroy that monster, and if you do, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So he can easily do a lot of damage to your opponent, and using another copy of himself to destroy special summon monsters is really good, because your opponent, because I don't see people doing a lot of normal summoning nowadays. It's all about special summoning, which doesn't seem all that special anymore. Next up, I'm running 3 Salamangreat Jaguar. If he attacks a defense position monster, you inflict piercing bad damage to your opponent. And if you control a Salamangreat Link monster while it's in your graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, except him, shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, you special summon him from the graveyard to a zone that Link monster points to. You can only use the effect of him once per turn. So with this effect, he's an easy special summon, because there can be a lot of Link summoning in this deck, especially with bait links, just needing a level 4 or lower Cyber's monster, which he is. And if you have another monster in your grave, you can just shuffle that back into the deck to bring Jaguar back. Next up, there is 3 Salamangreat Fowl. If a Salamangreat monster or monsters except him is no more special summoned, you can special summon him from your hand. So he kinda has a Gobbledybug type of effect where if you summon a monster you get to bring out another one, except he doesn't special summon another monster, it's only when another monster is special summoned. And you can send the Salamangreat card from your hand or face up field to the grave to make one of your opponent's set spell trap cards unactivatable this turn. I don't know if that's a real word, but it just came to my head. They cannot activate that set spell trap card. So it's quite easy to go. You can use his effects easily, because like Jaguar, if you use Jaguar, you can just bring him back, then use Fowl's effect. Next, I run 3 Falco. I run this in the deck because it can bring back one of your Salamangreat spell trap cards in your graveyard if it is sent to the grave. So it's a nice bit of recursion, and if it is in your graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat monster you control, except him, return it to your hand, and if you do, special summon him. So if you wanted to, you could if you had Foxy on the field and you wanted to use this effect later on in the duel, you can just return to the hand through Falco. My only one-off for the monsters is Salamangreat Gazelle. This is not because of having enough copies. I have 3 copies, but because of the ban list, I can only have 1 of them in the deck. What he does is that if it's kind of the opposite to Fowl's effect. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to your graveyard, except him, and during the damage step, you can special summon him from your hand. And if he's summoned, you can send the Salamangreat card from your deck to the graveyard. So, he is quite easy to help extend your Link summoning, or even to bring out Emerald Eagle, who is one of my boss monsters in the deck. I have 3 more monsters to go through in the main deck. One of them is Binny. What he does is that if you control a Salamangreat card, you can discard him to target one face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack until the end phase. And if you control a Salamangreat monster other than him, and he is in your graveyard, you can special summon him, but it's balanced when it leaves the field. So that's kind of like Quibble Hedgehog. Instead of needing a tuner monster, you need a Salamangreat monster. Next up is Salamangreat Foxy. When he's normal summoned, you get a Path of Duality type of effect, where you excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add a Salamangreat card from among those to your hand, then shuffle the rest into the deck. And if he's in your graveyard and a face-up spell trap card on the field, then you can discard the Salamangreat card to special summon him from the grave. Then you can destroy a face-up spell trap on the field. So he can, if you have Falco, you can just send him to the grave to get back a spell card and bring back Foxy. Or a trap card. Next, to finish off the monsters, I'm running 3 Salamangreat Mole. If during your main phase, if you Link summon this turn, you can special summon him from your hand to your zone a Link monster points to. And if you control no monsters, you can banish Mole to shuffle 5 of your Salamangreat cards in your graveyard back into your deck to draw 2 cards. So it's kind of like part of Atlas with the last effect, and it has a somewhat similar effect to Saber Dragon, I believe, except instead of needing no monsters, you need to have Link summoned a Salamangreat monster. Or not a Salamangreat monster, just any monster. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, I'm running 1 Fury of Fire. It is always treated as a Salamangreat card, so you can add it through Foxy's effect if you wanted to, or mill it if you wanted to use Gazelle's effect on it. But you special summon up to 2 Salamangreat monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard in defense position, but their effects are negated. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card's resolves, you can only special summon from the extra deck once. So, if I've already Link summoned enough, and I wanted to bring out 1 more Link monster, I can just bring out, either of my Salamangreat monsters that is in my graveyard, just for one last hurrah. Next, another one-off is Rise of the Salamangreats. What it does is you can use it to ritual summon any Salamangreat ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total level equal or exceed the level of that ritual monster. So, it's for Emerald Eagle. And if you control a Fire Link monster, you can also use Salamangreat monsters in your graveyard by shuffling them into the deck. And if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to bring out a Emerald Eagle from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. So it has two ways of bringing out Emerald Eagle. One of them is just by ignoring its summoning conditions. The other one is just by the normal means. And if you, my favorite thing to do if my opponent has a full board of special summon monsters is to use Falco as one of the ritual materials, so that I can set it back, because it's not a once per turn effect. So I can just use it again to bring out another Emerald Eagle. For the rest of the one-offs, I have one Salamangreat Circle. It's the same. I think it's the same situation with Gazelle, where it's limited on the ban list. You can use one of these effects. You can either add a Salamangreat monster from your deck to your hand, or target one Salamangreat Link monster you control that is Link summoned using a monster with its same name as material. That Link monster is unaffected by monster effects, doesn't accept its summon. So, if I have to, I would use it on Helio, since he gets more effects when he is reincarnated Link summoned. Next, for the only two for the spells that I have is two Salamangreat Burning Shell. What it does is that it special summons a Salamangreat monster from your hand, but negates effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you Link summon a Salamangreat Link monster using materials you control, including the summoned monster. And that Link monster cannot attack or activate effects. And during your main phase, you can banish this to target one Salamangreat Link monster in your graveyard and return to your extra deck. So it can help me with Link summoning, and it can help me with a little bit of recursion. Next up, I have three spell cards that I run three of in the deck. The first one is Salamangreat's Sanctuary. It's needed for the Reicarnation Link summoning. What it does is that if you Link summon a Salamangreat Link monster, you can use one Salamangreat Link monster you control with its same name as the entire material. So, for example, if I want to summon Helio, I can just use Helio to bring out a second copy, or third copy if you already used one of them. And doing damage calculation, if your monster battles, you can pay 1,000 life points, then target one Link monster you control, make his attack 0, and if you do, gain life points equal to his original attack. You have to pay 1,000 to do so. So, if you were to use Helio, then you would pay 1,000, gain 23, so you'd really be gaining 1,300 life points. Next is 3 Will of the Salamangreat. During your main phase, you can special summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can send this face-up card from the field to the grave to target one Salamangreat Link monster you control that was Link summoned using a monster with the same name as material. I'm going to try and refer to that as Reicarnation Link summoning, because that's how Soulburner calls it in the anime. You do that to special summon Salamangreat monsters that are from the hand and or graveyard in defense position up to that monster's Link rating, which for this deck means the highest is 3 because of Helio. Next up, to round out the spells, I'm running 3 Salamangreat Claw. The equipped monster you can only equip it to a Salamangreat monster, which for this deck is most of the monsters. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and when it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. And if the equipped monster is a Salamangreat Link monster you control that was reincarnated Link summon, then during each battle phase, it can make attacks on monsters up to its Link rating. So for Helio, it can make 3 attacks. Next, I'm running, for the traps, I'm running 3 Rage. You can either send a Salamangreat monster from your hand or face-up field to the grave to destroy a card on the field. But I hardly use that effect. I only use it if I have to. But the other effect that I use is you target one Salamangreat Link monster you control that is reincarnate Link summoned, and you destroy cards your opponent controls up to that monster's Link rating. That's what I use more because the highest I can get is 3. Next is 3 War. When it's a counter trap for the deck, and when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated while you control a Salamangreat Link monster, you negate the activation and if you destroy that card. While it's in your graveyard, if a Link monster is Link summoned to your field while it was reincarnate Link summoned, you can set this card back from the grave but banish it when it leaves the field. Next, the final trap I'll be running is 1 Salamangreat Gift. I used to run 3, but I decided to just keep it to 1 for now. You can discard a Salamangreat monster to mill a Salamangreat monster from your deck to the grave to draw 1 card. But I never do that. It's quite rare for you to see me do that. The other effect is if you control a Salamangreat Link monster that was reincarnate Link summoned, you can discard a Salamangreat monster to draw 2 cards. So if I wanted to end the duel quickly, I could just discard Emerald Eagle and use Helios' effect. So that's it for the main deck. I'm gonna go to the extra deck. I used to run 3 more Astario, but unfortunately he's banned. So I'm gonna go straight to the Link monsters. I run 3 Helio. I picked this art over the other one because I think it looks way cooler. He needs 2+ fire effect monsters, which is quite easy for the deck because it's nothing but fire effect monsters. And if it's Link summoned, you can target 1 card in your opponent's spell trap card zone, shuffle it into the deck. And once per turn during your main phase, if this card was Link summoned using another copy of itself as material, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and 1 in your graveyard. The attack of the first target becomes the other target's attack. So for example, if I have him on the field and Emerald Eagle in the grave, I can use Helios' effect to make his attack Emerald Eagle's attack. I used to think that it was the card gains attack equal to the graveyard target, but after doing proper reading, I found out that it has to become that monster's attack. So that was a mistake on my part. I learned from it. Next, I'm running. These are in Link rating order, so yeah. Next is 3 Duelio Chimera. The only non-Cybers monster in the deck. He just needs 2 fire monsters, which for this deck is all of them. I already said what it does in the Viking deck, but let me go through it again. All fire monsters on the field gain balanced attack and defense. Also, all water monsters on the field lose 400 attack and defense. And if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 fire monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. I've actually was able to beat someone with it because of a 2-turn kill combo I have in this deck. But I think I was able to go to OTK with this deck. The second to last monster I'm running is Flame Administrator. He needs 2 Cybers monsters, or in this case it's 2 monsters because all but Duelio Chimera is Cybers. All Link monsters you control gain 800 attack, and you can only control 1 of him. So I don't mind about the only controlling one, because that's not why he's in here. He's in here because he gives all my link monsters 800 attack. So if I'm able to use Helio's effect to make his attack 2800, that means I'm technically giving him 1300 more attack. And the last card I'm running in the deck is 3 Baelix. It needs 1 level 4 or lower Cyber's monster, which is most of the deck. If it's link summoned, you can add 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary from your deck to your hand. And if a Salamangreat card or cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card instead. So not only does it search out your main field spell, being Salamangreat Sanctuary, but it also has a form of protection in banishing itself instead of destroying your monsters. So that is it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment on what you think I should improve on. I will be uploading a combo for this in the future, so heads up for that one. If you want to, please like, comment, and subscribe, and press that bell icon so you get notified of my new uploads. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.